Hello and welcome back, everybody out there in Union Arena Land. We have another deck tech video today going over Code Geass Red, the pizza deck. We are joined today by Kyle from Unionversity, who's helping us dive through all of the unique and flavorful builds that this deck provides for all of us. Let's see if we can't cut into it and figure out what's happening. So, this deck isn't just about raw aggression like Ashford Academy or many other red decks in Union Arena are. It relies on a high event count to unlock powerful synergies and maintain card draw, creating a very different kind of red deck strategy. So Kyle, let's go over the basics of this. How would we identify this as a deck? Is it aggro? Is it mid-range? Is it control? Or is it just flavor?
Flavor. The cheesy goodness this deck provides is phenomenal. If you're not playing pizza sleeves, you're doing the deck an injustice, okay? So you better find custom pizza sleeves and play the deck proper.
Yes, I agree.
But the main focal point of the deck relies on your pizzas. First off, you have delivery pizza, aka Domino's, and then Pizza Hut, giant pizza. Choose one of character on your field that gains 1,000 DP until the end of turn. Choose up to 1 AP, switch it to active. What's really nice is delivery pizza does the same, does something similar. Draw a card and then place one card from your hand sideline. Choose up to 1 of your AP, restand it. So your pizzas cost you nothing to do for a turn, and it benefits you. So that's super important with this deck because your magic number is you want to be at 6.
And once you get to there, ooh, that is going to be terrifying. So how do the events in this deck tie into it so much? Because we are running way more events in this deck than we've seen in any other deck in NA so far. Why is it so important to have this density of them? What is the payoff for all of that?
So this deck lives and breathes and dies by the pizza. So first off, the original OG pizza Ashford C2 or CC. This character gains all ability based on if you have the required number of pizza affiliated cards in your sideline. 2, play this character, set it to active on your field so you get some damage in. Yep. 4, impact. 6, during this turn, this character gains 1,000 DP and double attack. So she was the original OG double attacker.
And that's just passively on it. That's not even when played.
Yep. So she always becomes a 5k double attacker with impact once you get to 6. People are scared when that thing happens, and they're just losing the game that way. The new C2, though, is when played, you may place 2 cards from your hand into your sideline. If you do, draw 3 cards. So,
reverse
Rukia? Reverse Rukia, that instantly guarantees you just trashing, your pizzas. When sideline, if you have 3 or more option pizza affiliated cards in your sideline, choose up to 1 character with 3 or less required energy other than C2 from your sideline to your hand. So you basically get your free range of everybody coming back, which is super important for this deck.
That sounds very scary. And despite it being such a high density on events, yeah, you get to cheat a lot of APs, which is really the opposite of the Ashford deck. Completely different styles. I like that. That's really good flavor. So let's walk through the curves, shall we? Can you break down the roles that the 0s and the 1s and 2s play in this deck?
So we have Colin at a 4 of. She's just here for the fancy trigger, just a very good 0 cost. Next one is C2. She's just a cycler, generic cycler that we know and love. She's just going to be, when played, draw a card, trash a card. Just simple. Shirley. Shirley is something new. A lot of people don't know her. Fact of the matter is she's your energy generator. She will rest, suspend herself, generate an energy. I normally don't like them, but to be honest with you, since you curve at 4, and if you can get your pizza going as fast as humanly possible, and you can get this C2 down, why not be able to use Shirley for the turn, right? But she also does have a raid target in the deck, which really does help her out. And then we do play 1 Genome, because Genome here is just in here because he likes pizza. Just kidding. When played, just being able to look at the deck and deciding if you want to sideline it or add it, leave it on top. Fantastic card because 0 cost early game basically guarantees your pizza. If it's sitting on the next card to top, you can just instantly trash it, right? So it just speeds your clock up. At the end of the day, there's nothing too crazy after that on the zeros. The fact of the matter is, Gino would have probably been tossed out from the deck list, to be honest with you, if we got, the girl, Nonally. If we got Nonally, this card would have been out in a heartbeat. But we didn't get Nonally, so we
at least has a synergy with the pizza. You could put it in the sideline. Yeah.
Yep. Now go
on.
Going on to the ones, we got some really good one drop on the deck. First off, we have Shirley here. She's brand new. She's interesting. Activate main, switch to resting, sideline this card. You can activate this ability if you have 4 or more events in your sideline, draw 2 cards. So the fact of the matter is, we played these pizzas and it'll help us. And being able to dig a little bit deeper, getting some extra draws, because Shirley can be like one of those cards that you just don't really need at the time. So that's fine. But, she is our 1 cost, then followed by, that is our only 1 cost at 4. But we get into the 2s where things kind of get a little more exciting. We have Millie here that's going to just help us dig cards. She is strictly in here for looking at the top 5 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 red event among the remaining cards at the bottom deck in any order. If you added a card to your hand, place 1 card from your hand into the sideline. So, yeah, you're just digging for your pizzas to kind of get to that 6. Followed by the next card is the new C2. She is strictly in here as long as you have 2 pizzas in your sideline. This character gains energy +1. So, yeah. Just being able to generate 2 with a 2 drop that doesn't have a weird I need to be active stance, not a bad choice, right? So just something to think about there. And then we're getting into the, we've already talked about the pizzas. They were super important. School Festival is another great card because of School Festival being able to dig your cards, pieces which you really want to have. And then basically that's caps at 2s. But we actually, in the red deck, surprisingly paired to the sister deck, we are playing the Precedence Order, which is your AP restand. You kind of do need it for this deck because you do have a 2-drop, 2 action point card that's very impactful. If you're not playing that, you're kind of in a bad spot. But we do have Shirley here. Shirley is a great raid in general for this deck specifically because activate, switch to resting, draw a card, then place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. Shirley is great even if you just put her in the energy line and you don't move, right? Just because she's that decent. But when played, add to 1 red event card from your sideline to your hand, which means that you could raid Shirley and grab your President's Order because there's no restriction on that. So you want to have that, or you can get your removal spell. So that's super important. Just
that's a good turn.
Yep. But now we get into the 4s. We have the removal spell. This one's pretty decent. As we know, chess game, choose up to 1 character with 3,000 or less BP on your opponent's front line, sidelining. If you have 3 or more events in your sideline, it's a 5,000 or less BP instead. Really good for removal. Now we do get into Anya. Anya is just in the deck because she synergizes with the cards. This character gains all ability listed the required number of events in your sideline. 2 or more, this character becomes a 4K on your turn, and then 4 or more, it gains impact. So yeah, impact driving. And we do. Yep, and then we do have the raid CC, which I talked about earlier, just because of what she can do. And your 2-drop CC that is just that powerful for that double attack.
Yeah, 5k impact comes in active double attacker. Seems like, isn't that Father from FMA, but you need 20 cards in your sideline? Huh. Yeah. Reverse power creep, I guess. So, looking at all of this...
it was the original power creep.
Yeah. Looking at all of...
Yeah. but it was stuck between options that didn't have the best options to work with.
Yes, so now that we're looking at all of this, it seems to have one fatal flaw in it that a lot of UA players are going to immediately hate, and that is the low trigger count. Despite this deck having only 34 triggers in it, it does seem to have a lot of more proactive gaming associated with it. A lot of cards that come in and start attacking. Do you think that this deck is able to play an aggro style game and then close it out with its CCs, or do you think that this deck needs to be playing slower and more methodical against the majority of its opponents?
More methodical. It's not a Unga Boonga wear a helmet go deck. This deck, you have to be playing smart, resourceful, everything like that. Every action needs to matter with this deck.
Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about when it comes to this deck is its matchups. So what type of matchups are you trying to completely dodge and avoid if you were trying to be playing, well, pizzas? And what type of matchups do you think you'll be able to easily overrun and take out your opponent?
Right now, that's the challenge of the deck. There's a lot of strong decks at the moment. This is a very, like, Pizzas is good on a pilot that has good confident hands and understands their deck really well. You could definitely take on the tier 1 decks pretty confidently. It's definitely more like 60-40 in your favor in the tier 1 deck. You don't really want to, it's like, if you're going to a casual locals, you should probably easily dominate them. There's nothing you should worry about. But if you're going to high competitives, you have to bring your A game and knowledge of their matchups and what their decks do just to be on tempo and on point.
So you think that this is a very high skill ceiling style of deck?
Yeah, it doesn't play Unga Boonga wear a helmet.
Very interesting. All right, so now that we've gone over that, the last thing I really want to touch on and talk about is who do you think can pick up this deck and profitably play it? Do you think a newer player would be able to grow and learn with it very well? Or do you think only super experienced UA players can possibly, well, squeeze out all the cheese that this has to offer?
A new player could definitely pick this up and get a good understanding and grasp of it. It's not Turtle Helmet, but it isn't like 1,000 IQ deck. But, you know, very simple strategy game plan. Your pizzas matter to you. You're going to be using them. Cycling and getting your parts going. And then just slamming in with C2, double damage, you know, impact for game as you're making these chips every turn. Just matters, right? Just play smart and resource manage, and you should be able to be pretty fine.
Okay. Now, you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, but I want to know, do you think that there's any specific card coming in the future, or hopefully coming in the future, that will allow this deck to get boosted to a much higher tier and much more terrifying to play against pile?
If they give us 4 anomalies, this is not the deck you play. I'm sorry, but you go right to Ashford.
It helps this deck as well, you know?
You're playing it as maybe a 1 to 2 of in the list. I mean, yeah, being able to swing in and just get those chips without them blocking at the end game, really decent. But at the end of the day, Ashford just benefits for that non-only more than this deck does. I mean, yeah, you take him out and you play the non-only there, but it's just nothing too crazy.
All right. Well, that covers about everything we wanted to touch on when it came to this deck. Nice, easy, quick, and cheap delivery. That's what we really enjoy about this pizza pile. Thank you.
DiGiorno.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Why don't you shout yourself out and let everybody know where they can find you?
You can find me down in the doobly-doos in the description. You know, just find me on YouTube as Unionversities. So, and then just find ProDmJoey in the description as well, because he makes amazing content. I just do a lot more meta stuff. I like just talking about things topping and things doing things. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as well. And we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.